Hey everyone, and welcome back to Furniture Redesign. I'm Mary, and this is the project we'll be working on today. This 68-inch French Provincial 9-drawer dresser and nightstand. It also has a mirror, but it is so heavy that I couldn't lift it up to bring it up to work on. So I'll be working on it in another location and share it in the end. So as we take a closer look at the piece, the drawers seem to be in good condition. I have all the hardware, and there are a few scuffs on the top of the dresser, some gouges, but I do want to sand it smooth and keep some of the original integrity of the piece. So I will be painting the base, and I'll be keeping the old hardware because I do love it. Over here on the nightstand, I'll be doing the same. The top is pretty smooth, just a few scuffs on the edge. The drawers work, and I do have the hardware. So we're going to sand the top of this piece smooth as well. After inspecting the piece, I didn't find any major damage other than the scuffs on the top, and I didn't find any name brand in the drawers or any place on the piece. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go ahead, prepare to clean the piece. So I'll be back in a bit with my water. I am back and I have my bucket of warm water, and I also have my TSP mixture. So the first thing I want to do is take my TSP mixture and I want to spray down my piece and remove the hardware. Now that it's all sprayed down, I'm ready to scrub both my pieces. Now the top of this have so much furniture polish build up that you actually have to scrub. So I'm scrubbing it a bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and give me some Palmolive dish soap and a scrub pad and scrub the top after I finish cleaning the piece. Now I didn't initially take the hardware off, but you want to make sure you take that hardware off and clean the area under the hardware as well. I've added a little dish soap in my water, plus I'm going to spray the piece one more time, and I have an abrasive pad, and I just want to scrub the dresser down. And I'll do the same thing for the nightstand. I just want to scrub the top to get some of this wax buildup off the top. And make sure you clean underneath where the drawers go. There could be a lot of dust in there, and you want to make sure that it's clean for the new owners. Both my pieces have been cleaned and rinsed. Now I'm ready to sand the top. I'm using 100 grit disc to get started. going to use that 100 grit disc, and I'm going to do the carved edging around the side. After trying to sand the curved edge of the dresser, I decided to leave it alone. So I'm going to take 120 grit sandpaper, and I want to start to smooth out just the corners where I didn't want to damage the edges with my sander. And continue to scuff sand the carved edging so that I can prepare it for paint. Now I'm just going to take my damp cloth and remove some of the sawdust from the top since it's been sanded. Now I'm going to take 150 grit sandpaper, and I want to just rough up the base of my dresser and my nightstand. I do this to give my paint something to adhere to, and it also allowed me not to prime the piece because I am using chalk paint. Now I'm ready to use a clean damp cloth and wipe the dust away from all my pieces. I'm sorry, I thought my camera was on, but it wasn't. But my next step was to add a coat of polyurethane, and I'm using the wipe-on poly. And what this does is just enrichen the wood and give it a darker, warm color. So I'll be doing this on the top of the dresser and also the little nightstand. Also, if you notice, I'm wiping on the wipe-on poly, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't let it flow over the edges. I'm putting the poly on first before I begin to add my paint. Now that I have the coat of polyurethane on my dresser and my nightstand, I'm ready for my paint. I'm using Reticket in the ultramarine color. I want to make sure that my paint is stirred up really well before using. I'll be using my short handle angle brush, and I'll also make sure that I mist my drawer pieces before I begin applying my paint. Adding the mist will allow the paint to go on a lot smoother. I'm going to continue adding paint to my dresser and my nightstand. Again, I'm being careful not to get paint on the stained portion of the dresser. If you do, because you've already stained, all you have to do is take a wet cloth and wipe it back. Time for my second coat of paint. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the first. I'm going to take my mister bottle, mist down the piece. Also, make sure your brush is moistened as well, and continue adding a second coat of paint to the piece. Also, if you notice, I'm going around the top of my piece with my short handle angle brush, ensuring that I don't get paint on my stained portion. And if I do, I take a damp cloth and wipe it off immediately. I flip my dresser over on its back. I'm doing this to ensure that I have paint in all of those hidden spots. I want to mist it first and then apply that paint. So I let my dresser and nightstand dry for a couple of hours. Now I want to take the 220 grit sand disc and I want to lightly sand the top of the dresser and the nightstand. Then I'll take a lint-free cloth, making sure that I get all the dust that was left behind. Now I want to take my piece of t-shirt and I want to apply my wipe-on poly to the top of the piece. I also will be applying it to the base of the nightstand and dresser. So I have my hardware here in the sink and I'm ready to clean it. I'm soaking it here in warm water. I have my abrasive pad and I have my barkeeper's friend. I'm just going to add the liquid barkeeper's friend to the hardware, rub it in, and then I'll use my abrasive pad to scrub. And then I'll rinse it off. And here is what the two pieces look like, cleaned and not clean. Still not quite bright enough, but a lot better. I decided to use the old toothbrush, and this is to scrub in between the crevices along with the abrasive pad. I'm going to continue cleaning my hardware and we'll come back for the next step. So my hardware is clean, but not looking great. So I pulled out my gold gilding wax and I am going to just wipe it on. Now this is gold, but it's not a bright gold. It will just bring the color back to life. So I'm going to add this to all of the hardware. And just like that, I brushed on all the gilding wax and the pieces look really, really great. Now I'm ready to go and work on the dresser. I have my nightstand upside down again, and now I'm ready to take my gold gilding wax and I just want to go around some of the crevices and also work it around the feet. I'm going to finish up getting gilding wax on the dresser around the crevices and the top, and we'll be back to add the hardware. Heading for the finish line. Now it's time to get that beautiful hardware on the dresser. I'm going to start with the three larger pieces. They go in the center. Then we'll add the smaller pieces and we'll come back and we'll be ready for the reveal. I think my dresser and nightstand turned out absolutely beautiful. I love how the gilding wax added such charm to the gold hardware, and also how the gold trim accents just brighten up the piece. Absolutely adore it. But you let me know. What do you think? So I'm babysitting my niece today, and she couldn't help but make a cameo appearance when she saw the camera and the mirror. And looking closer at the mirror, you can also see where I did that same gilding wax in all of the curved areas. This was tedious, but well worth it. I have to say, I've been refurnishing furniture for about 2.5 years since the beginning of COVID. And this piece is one of my favorites. I have one other one that I do happen to love, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I'll also leave a link to all of the items that I used in this video in the description box. As usual, I buffed the Howard's Weed feed into the inside of my drawers and also on my glides. This will give the drawers a beautiful, rich look and also condition the wood. And it smells great as well. Now here on the top of the nightstand, there was a little damage. When I sanded it back, there is a veneer and it's really, really thin and was cracking. I used my Gorilla Glue to put underneath, and I think it turned out pretty darn good. Now then, if you're out there watching and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And don't forget the notification bell so you'll know when I upload new tutorials. Let me say thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.